Hi everyone, welcome to the updated version of your practical 2. So this is just one with actual sound that I'm updating for you. So in this data we are using a sample data set called historical data clean, which you know is on ClickUp, and you can just go download it from there. They give you a hint. So they say copy only semester mark, exam mark, and final mark to a new sheet. Okay, so what you're going to do in question 1 is complete the following table. So you're going to give the number of observations, which is n, the pass rate, which is the rate if a person has above 50%, the mean is the average, then variance and standard deviation. Okay, so let's go into Excel and see what's going on there. Okay, so I'm in historical data clean. Here's your data set that you have obtained. I have created a new sheet in which, this is just for the last question, which I will show you. Okay, so I've created an additional sheet to which I copied the semester mark, exam mark, and final mark, which is over there. So from this, you can go, and then I just want to show you guys the functions we will be using. So in practical 2, we will be using the functions Countif, which has two parameters called range and criteria. Remember, your criteria should be in double quotation marks. So here's an example, Countif. So this counts all the values in the range. So I took, for example, column B, and for all values greater or equal to 0. So it counts how many values there are that are greater or equal to 0 in that specific range. Okay, Countifs works exactly the same, except you can have multiple conditions and more than one range. So say, for example, you have range 1 and criteria 1 and range 2 that goes with criteria 2. An example for this is, say, again you have range of column B and you want to check the amount of values that are greater than 50, but also in that same range you want to see those values that are also less or equal to 70. So you basically want all the number of values that are between 50 and 70. Okay, so that would give you that. Then for average, which is a function you know from practical 1, it basically gives you the mean value and you just have the range. Var S gives you the variance of a sample, because it said in the question that we're working with a sample. So again, it's just var.s and you enter your range. So example, for this, your range will be column B. Okay. Then you have standard deviation, which is stdev.s, and you enter your range. Again, a.s because we have sample, and quartile.inc. The inc just means it's inclusive. It's the way it's been calculated. It's just the function we will be using. Okay, range again, and then quartile. Quartile is which quartile you want to observe. You get 1, 2, 3. First 1 would be your first quartile, 2 would be your median, and 3 would be your third quartile. Okay, and there is an example. So quartile.inc, and you have your range of column B, and then you want to observe the first quartile. So like I wrote here, it gives the value for the first quartile of the values in the range B. Okay, so you can use all of these to go and fill in that table for question 1. Okay, so if you want to see the number of observations there are, you know from practical 1, you can either click this down arrow to see how many observations there are. Like for example, here at the count, it says 335. So in this whole column, there are 335 cells, 335 cells that have values in. Note, it also takes this first SM label as a value as well. So the count would technically be 334. Just make sure another way you can observe this is to use your countif function. So you use equal countif to pop up there, and say for example we want to fill in the range, and with the criteria say greater or equal to 0. Okay, as in the example. So enter, and there you can see we can confirm 334. That's the number of observations we have. Just check. I know that there are some of these, I think it's either exam mark or final mark. Some of them do have empty values, so just make sure you use the Countifs function correctly to get the number of observations. Okay. Then going on to question 2, here you will be using that quartile function. So you get either your lower fourth, which is your first quartile, your upper fourth, which is your third quartile, and the fourth spread, your interquartile range. That formula you can get from your books. It's theory that you guys should know. So I'm going to leave that for you as a self-study. Shape is negatively or positively skewed or either symmetric, that you can calculate by looking at how does the mean compare to the median, is it greater, is it less than, and from that you can deduce what the shape would be. Again, this is also in your theory that you should know, so I'm not going to give you the answers for that or full explanation.